Hey guys, it's Tiffany Nguyen, and today I'm so excited to be here to talk to you about social media. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm a photographer from Los Angeles and also a member of the Sony Alpha Collective. I'm originally a dentist actually, but for the past couple of years, I've kind of focused most of my time on photography, and today I couldn't be more excited to talk to you about how to maximize the potential of social media. Social media is not only a great way to connect with your friends and family, but I think it's an amazing opportunity to gain exposure and also allow you to showcase your work. What we're not going to learn about in this class is how to gain a bunch of followers, how to get likes on photos. It's really not about that. Social media should not be a numbers game or a competition. I think it's so much more than that. It's about being part of a community where you can, share your work with others, connect with your peers, and just find inspiration. Today I'm not only going to teach you how to maximize social media, but I'm going to show you how to use this platform with intention. I'm also going to provide you with the tools that you're going to need so then when you're using social media, you're going to be making the most out of your time and effort. So before we get started, I wanted to share with you my personal story about how, I got into using social media and specifically Instagram. When Instagram first released, my friends were like, yeah, you got to join this app. It's really cool. You can post pictures and tag each other, share like different types of content. And honestly, I was thinking, absolutely not. I don't need another social media platform, to kind of take over my life. So really, I was super against joining Instagram, but eventually, just like everyone else, I had to see what this app was all about. And little did I know, there was so much potential in this app. So I remember posting pictures, just like selfies or pictures of food. Really had no intention of the things that I was posting on Instagram. But the more I was on the app and the more photos I saw, I was really inspired by a lot of the photos I was seeing and the people that I was following. So for me, I think Instagram is actually what got me into photography because of all the beautiful imagery that I was seeing online. I remember having like a bucket list on my phone and just thinking like, hey, one day I'm going to go to this place and I want to take pictures of this beautiful location. I was just taking, pictures with my iPhone, and the more and more I took photos, the more I realized, I really need to invest more of my time and energy into this. So I just started sharing photos and, using the different techniques that we're going to go over today. That's kind of how I gained more exposure and how I built my online presence. So for me, I'm really grateful for this community, and honestly, Instagram has been a huge part of my journey, and I consider it, to be a stepping stone to where I am today. Everyone uses social media for a different purpose, but for today's lecture, we're going to talk specifically about how you can use Instagram for your business. So Instagram is basically a living portfolio of your work. For me, personally, it's almost like a digital resume, a place for me to showcase my work. And it's essentially a collection of content that you create that serves as a digital snapshot of you as a person. So, through your stories and videos that you're posting, it really reveals a lot about your personality. Another thing to think about is you want to figure out what you're using Instagram for. Are you using it as a business tool or personal use? Because then that's really going to change what type of content that you post. But if you're planning to use Instagram for your business, you definitely want to start posting with intention. So there's so many different ways you can build your online presence and gain more exposure to get your work out there. And today we're going to talk about these different topics here, and I'm going to dive into each of these specifically. We're going to talk about the quality of content that you're going to need to produce, consistency, engagement with your audience, and also connecting with your community. And all four of these pillars I think are so important when it comes to posting on social media. All right, so let's talk about the importance of content. First and foremost, the quality of your content should always be the most important thing. For me, I prioritize quality over quantity. So personally, I would rather go a couple days and not post, because I don't have an edit ready. I don't have anything I'm excited to share, rather than trying to post every single day, multiple times a day, just so I can push out this content for people to see. Always, always, always prioritize quality. Because at the end of the day, this is your portfolio and you just want to, share your best work out there. So next, you want to make sure that you're curating your feed. When you're posting on your page, you want to make sure that you have a cohesive look. So you don't want to have photos with completely like different editing styles, even different themes of what you're posting. You don't want to be all over the place. You want to kind of find your own theme and your own editing style. So curating your feed is very important. I would recommend using apps there's one called Preview and one called Unum. Both of these apps, and I'm sure there's other ones out there too, but both of these apps are great because you can actually plan out your grid on your feed to make sure that all your photos look cohesive together. Next, the quality of your captions and using relevant hashtags. This is something that's very important because you need a caption to go along with the beautiful imagery that you're sharing. Whether it's a caption that's going to be, really detailed and you're telling what happened, like you're telling a story, or you're trying to share something that's motivational or inspirational, something that you want to share with your audience, or you just want to be funny or witty. It's totally up to you. It's your page, but just make sure that you have a relevant caption to go with the image, because people do read the captions and they just want to know what's going on, behind the scenes, like what went on in your head when you took this photo, what's the story behind this shot. So if you can share that through your caption, I think your audience is going to be even more engaged with you. And then using relevant hashtags. This is very important because this is another way to get more eyes on your post. For example, when you're using hashtags, you want to use something like, let's say it's a landscape photo. You're better off posting a hashtag that says hashtag Sony Alpha versus hashtag photo. The reason for that is because people are actually clicking on these specific hashtags in order to find a collection of photos. And also, the person that's running these larger pages, like for example, Sony Alpha, they're probably going through the hashtags to look up the different photos that people are posting because they know that they're posting pictures using hashtag Sony Alpha because they took the photo using this camera. So, you have a higher chance of your photo being reposted on a much larger channel. And so then that's going to drive more traffic to your page and then get more exposure to your work. And so everyone has their own style of what they're going to post. But at the end of the day, you can still stay authentic, but don't be afraid to branch out. If you're always posting the same exact type of photo, it just becomes predictable and it's just not exciting. It's not fun for people to follow. So stay authentic, but really don't be afraid to try something new every now and then. And also, it's really important to diversify your content. Have fun with it, post photos, videos, IG stories, carousels, GIFs, stop motion videos. Me personally, I like to do a little bit of everything. So, I used to only post photos, but now that we're able to post videos and carousels, it's just another way to share even more content. And the more that you can share, behind the story of how you got the shot, I think the more interest you're going to be getting from your audience. Just like with a lot of other things in life, I think being consistent is really important. And this doesn't change when it comes to social media as well. So knowing when to post is really important because you want to be posting when people are most active on social media. So specifically for Instagram, I find that, when I wake up, before I go to work, the first thing I do is I'm checking my email and I'm scrolling through Instagram. And also I feel like after dinner, I'm kind of winding down just before bed. I just want to, kind of relax for a little bit. I also find myself scrolling on Instagram. So I think morning and evening, those are good times. I would personally avoid posting in the middle of the day just because a lot of people are going to be either working or they're going to be at school. So really, I find that, posting in the middle of the day it doesn't work as well for me. But play around with it. It may be different for you, but just experiment with the timing. How often to post? I remember when I first started, I was posting probably 2-3 photos a day, just flooding people's feed with my photos. That's something you don't want to do. You don't want to overwhelm people and have them just be annoyed by you posting the same type of content over and over again. I would recommend posting only once a day. And you don't have to post every single day. It's totally up to you. And also it's based on, what type of content you have that's ready to go. Like I said earlier, you don't want to just post just for the sake of posting. You want to make sure you're sharing your best work. So maybe just when you're first starting off, just have a plan to post even 2 or 3 times a week. But consistency is important because your audience is going to be going on Instagram probably every day just to look for your content because they're wondering, they're like, oh man, like what is Tiff gonna post today? And I know she always posts around 9 a.m. So a lot of people that especially love your work and support you, they're gonna be looking for your content on a daily basis. So your page is your portfolio. So you want to find your own theme or editing style, but again, I think that this can change. It's not something that you're going to figure out right away. So maybe when you first start shooting, you're posting landscapes and you're posting more like colorful photos. But then as your photography evolves and maybe you realize, hey, I like kind of like posting moody portraits. And that's totally okay to change your theme and your style, but it's important to find one. And once you find it and once you've started to hone your craft, I think just stick with that and just kind of improve and grow from there. I personally think that the best creatives out there are the ones that post photos and you can tell like right away, oh, that photo or that edit is so-and-so's photo. These people have created their own style and brand, and I think that's something that everyone should try to achieve. So sharing behind the scenes stories that go along with your posts, I think Instagram stories are such a powerful tool because the photos that you see on Instagram, it's just like the final end result. It's just the final product. And a lot of people don't realize how much work goes into getting a photo. They just see this beautiful image and think, wow, like they probably got so lucky with these conditions, or like, wow, like, this must have happened at the right exact time. Like most of the time, honestly, 95% of the time, that's so not true. So I think it's really fun to show your personality and show the behind the scenes and show how much effort went into taking a photo, and that makes people appreciate your work so much more. Next, you want to get to know your audience because these are the people that are really supporting your work, and I just think it's so fun to engage with your audience and get their feedback and hear their reactions, when they see your photos. I think that's so much fun. So we already talked about Instagram stories, but an important thing you want to do is make sure you're pinning these stories to your highlights. And so the difference between that is with the highlights, it stays on your feed. It lives on your feed forever versus a story disappears after 24 hours. So I like having story highlights from different locations. So let's say, I'm in the Maldives or I'm in Canada. So I just have one highlight where I'm sharing all of my stories from that specific location, and that just keeps everything organized. And for your stories, I think it's fun to post not only still photos, you can do before and after photos. I think people are so interested in that type of content. But also, it could be like high quality cinematic videos from your travels, or it could just be even like funny behind the scenes. I really enjoy seeing that type of content. And make sure you're using the different features that are provided by Instagram. So this could be like the polls or questions or like the funny cute little GIFs that they have. It's just another way to engage with your audience and just keep things interesting. Another really important part of engagement, I think personally, is responding to comments and messages. A lot of people are like, wow, I can't believe you replied to all these comments and your DMs, like you must get so many messages. Yeah, that's true, but I think it's so important to connect with your audience. Again, these are people that are supporting your work, and these are people that I'm excited to share my work with. So I just think it's a great way to show people that you're a person. You're not just a page. So you're someone that's there to start a conversation, and that's what social media is all about, starting a conversation. So if possible, try to respond to comments and DMs that you think are relevant. And lastly, it's good to know what type of content your audience likes because different types of content perform differently. So sometimes I notice that when I post a photo versus a video, a photo can perform so much better than a video, or a single photo can perform so much better than a carousel. It's just really interesting to figure out what type of content your audience likes. So although you want to share things that you're excited about, it's also interesting to know just, the people that follow your work, what excites them the most. The last pillar of making the most out of social media is community. I think Instagram is such an incredible platform because it connects people from all over the world, whether it's your family members, friends, or, in our case, we're talking about creatives and photographers, right? Really, there's no app where I feel like there's a sense of community, where it's creating a safe environment for people to just share common interests. So be able to connect to someone so quickly without even knowing them. by just seeing their photos is so, so powerful to me. And I couldn't be more grateful for this app because it's connected me to like-minded people. And I just think it's so much fun. You can meet someone on Instagram and not really feel sketched out at all. Like, honestly, you guys follow each other on Instagram, you're inspired by their work, they're inspired by your work. It could be as simple as a direct message to each other, just DMing each other saying, hey, let's meet up because I'm passing by your area today. Would love to shoot with you. And just like that, you can connect with someone just by this app, which I'm like still mind blown by it, that I've made so many friends through this app. And so I think it's a great way to connect with other creatives. And I also think it's important to support your peers. So that means liking, commenting on other people's photos, people that you're inspired by. If you feel like you love this photo, you gotta share that love and comment other people's photos and let them know that you appreciate their work and that you're inspired by it. So I think even beyond that, just start a conversation. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone that you're inspired by or someone that you want to connect with because you love their work. Yeah, especially on Instagram, I find that people are just so open and willing to teach others what they know. And you'd be surprised with how many people you can connect with on this app. And I love finding new pages to follow. A lot of the people that I follow, yes, they do shoot similar styles as me because naturally, you find those people and you connect with those people. And a lot of my friends shoot the same style as me, but I love finding new pages where they're posting things that are just so out of the box and so creative, whether it's kind of like magic photography almost, or stop motion, or food even. There's so many different pages that I follow that I'm inspired by. So don't be afraid to branch out, because that's where I think you're going to find the most inspiration out there, is by finding work that's so different than yours, and then kind of using bits and pieces that you're inspired by to kind of make it your own and incorporate that into your own style. And lastly, be involved with your community. There's so many events that, whether it's virtual or in person, there's so many different events that are always happening to bring people together. And that's what I really, really love about this community, is that everyone is so positive, and, the energy that we have on this app, I just think it's pretty unreal. So definitely make the use out of community, connect with others, connect with your peers, connect with brands too. This is a great way for you to reach out to brands on their Instagram, and it could be as simple as a DM or finding their website or contact on their bio. A great way to connect with brands, and also for brands to find you as well. One last thing I want to touch on is having a business profile versus a personal profile. So first of all, if you are trying to use Instagram as a business tool, you absolutely need to have a business profile. And so what is the difference? Business profile gives you so much more information on the metrics and analytics behind all of your content. And this is really important because it allows you to see how many people are viewing your content. It also tells you what type of content performs better than others, so then you know what you should share more of. And this is also a really valuable tool for clients because it often measures, how well a social media campaign performs, and it also tells them how much exposure they're getting for their brand when they're hiring you. And even when you're not at this point yet, maybe you're not using Instagram as a business tool yet, it's still important to tell you what type of content performs best. So I personally would definitely recommend having a business profile versus a personal profile. You can always have a second Instagram page, and maybe that's like your fun page, and you just post selfies and pictures of food, pictures with your friends, and you don't care about those numbers, you don't care about the metrics. But when you're sharing content that you're trying to use for your business, and you're trying to post with intention, a business profile is absolutely necessary. So here's what it looks like on my Instagram page when I go and check the metrics and analytics for my entire page versus also individual pages, and also shows me insights on not only content but also activity and audience. So this first slide here, this is showing how many impressions I'm getting on these individual posts. And you can also go through this little drop down section here where it says impressions, and you can look up specifically reach and and you can categorize it to, the past week or the past month or just overall past lifetime of your Instagram. So that's a really cool tool to play around with. The second page here is really important because it shares the demographics of your audience. And this is really important because you want to know where your audience is from. Are they mostly from the US? Are they mostly from Canada, Asia? So this is important when clients are hiring you because maybe they're trying to target, a specific demographic, people that live in a specific geographic location. And they will ask you for these analytics before they hire you. So very important to have a business profile here. And you can see here, it also shows you the age range, which is important. For my page specifically, most of my followers, it looks like they're between the ages of 25 and 45. That's like majority of my followers. But this could be way different for someone else. And again, clients want to know the average age of your audience, so then they can make sure that they're hiring you for the right campaign. And lastly, on the right here, this is just showing the metrics and analytics of one specific post that I shared. So it shows you the number of likes, comments, and shares, and how many people bookmark the photo. It also shows the number of interactions, the reach. It's also, I think it's interesting how it shows that accounts reach, for example, this photo says 43% people weren't following you. So it also shows you where these people saw your photo, whether it's on their homepage because they followed you, or maybe they saw on their Explore page, or they saw because their friend liked your photo, so they wanted to check it out. So having, all this data and information really only helps your business, and it's just another tool to help you measure what type of content performs best. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope I was able to give you a new perspective on social media. I think the take-home message with this class is that social media isn't just a numbers game. It's not about the number of followers you have or how many likes you can get on a photo. It's important to remember that content is key and that you always want to try to produce the best work possible. This class gives you guys all the tools that you need to go out there and produce, a page that's going to be professional and also effective. And I think that Instagram is such an invaluable tool, especially for you to get exposure and get more eyes on your work. And this way you can gain more potential clients. When you're first starting off, you may be doing smaller scale projects with brands on social media, but I think the end goal is to show that, you're capable of producing this high quality work, and then hopefully that kind of pivots to you doing these larger projects outside of social media. So next time you guys post on Instagram, I hope you really, think about it, you start posting with intention, and hopefully you feel like you're maximizing the potential of this app and not just seeing it as a way to connect with friends or family members, but you're seeing it as so much more. And don't forget, the most important thing is to share work that you're excited about and just have fun with it. Because if you're doing all this and you're not having fun, honestly, what's the point? So go out there, shoot, create, share, connect with others, really maximize the potential of this app. I also have other online workshops that I teach and some in-person workshops as well, which I'm hoping to continue soon. So if you guys ever have any questions or you ever want to learn something new, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, guys.